because you fell, you fat pig. Have another donut. Have another donut.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Have Another Donut, a New Jersey Devils podcast. We are presented by Godzilla Media. I'm your host, Ryan McCarthy. We're talking about another exciting week in New Jersey Devils hockey, where the Devils went through Western Canada and swept all three of their games. That's right, folks. The New Jersey Devils swept all three of their games in Western Canada. We're going to get to that in just a moment. We're going to talk about the importance of stacking wins early in the season. We'll also talk about how Andre Palat and Mackenzie Blackwood are both injured and they're out of the lineup. We'll do a little bit of on the farm, down the farm, and we'll have an memorial in memoriam for Peter McNabb, who unfortunately passed away on Sunday afternoon. We'll talk about his career a little bit. But before we do that, just want to remind you to subscribe to actually first find us on Twitter. We're the only Twitter right now is the only platform we're on. It's at Devils Donut Pod. And I want to give a quick shout out to a follower of ours named Backhanded Devil. And what they did was that they were nice enough to create an alternate logo for our podcast. I'm going to go ahead and show you on the side, on the YouTube side, if you want to check it out. On the Twitter account, it's there at Devils Donut Pod. I want to share my screen with you. I'm going to share the tab real quick, and that is the alternate logo for Have Another Donut. Awesome job. Backhanded Devil, give you a shout out on Twitter. This is a pretty cool logo. I mean, I didn't expect I didn't expect somebody to reach out and say, "Hey, I was inspired to make this logo for you," but I do appreciate it, and I'm giving you a shout out. So thanks for the graphic. Shout out to Backhanded Devil. That's the handle on Twitter. Great graphics, great stuff. I believe they also the individual who runs the account also hosts a podcast on. I believe they also hosts a podcast. So great job. I appreciate the logo, the alternate logo. I know lots of teams have alternate jerseys right now. This is the alternate logo for Have Another Donut, a New Jersey Devils podcast. So I appreciate that. In terms of the podcast, subscribe on Anchor, which is our home base. You can also look for us on Spotify and Google Play. Give us a subscribe, listen, leave a rating. 5 stars is preferred. I really do appreciate it. And also on the YouTube side, subscribe to Godzilla Media. Leave this a like. Give us a like and leave a comment below. I might even read it on the air sometimes. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about this sweep through Western Canada, and that graphic was so great. I'm going to play it again. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's talk about this sweep through Western Canada. They started up last week in Vancouver, and right now they're running a 6-game winning streak. The last time they had a winning streak that went 6 games was in 2011, 2012. And guess what happened there, folks? Guess what happened there, Devils fans? Our New Jersey Devils went to the Stanley Cup final, where unfortunately they would lose in 6 games to the LA Kings. But regardless, they still got there. They beat the New York Rangers to get there. So it's a great thing. But let's start on Tuesday night in Vancouver as the New Jersey Devils raced out. Our Devils raced out to a 4-0 lead in the first 2 periods, and they wound up hanging on to win 5-2. Jack Hughes and Yegor Sharangovich, Hughesy and Sharon both get 2 points apiece. Excuse me. They got 1 goal and 1 assist. Nico Hischier with a power play goal. If you haven't had a chance to watch that power play goal, it is a work of art, especially if you're someone who fancies a good power play goal. It was super duper. It was just a work of art. It was chef's kiss. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was precise. It was precise. It was crisp passing, and then Nico's shot at the end. Well done. Well done. So 5-2 win at Vancouver, who is struggling right now. I have Bruce Boudreau and his guys are a bit of a struggle bus. And I remember a couple months ago when a lot of fans were asking the Devils to trade for JT Miller, and they were saying, "Oh, we should trade let's trade Jesper Bratt and a draft pick for JT Miller." And look how that turned out. So Jesper Bratt continued his scoring streak as he bumped it to 10 games. He tied a New Jersey Devils club record 4-point streak to begin the season. Now we move ahead to Thursday against Edmonton. 4-3 comeback win. They fell behind 3-2 after the first 2 periods. And then Ryan Graves, defenseman Graves, I want to give a quick shout out to our friend in Canada who runs the accounts for the Ryan Graves fan page. My buddy Alan, who is in Canada, Ryan Graves is from his hometown, so he has a fan page that he runs. He's of course Ryan Graves fan because he's from the same hometown. He scored this really interesting. I wouldn't say an awkward goal, but Ryan Graves is huge. I think he's at least 6'4", 6'5", and to see him kind of cut through the middle, collecting a pass from another teammate. He's going down the middle, in the middle of the end of the Edmonton Oilers, and see him stick handle a little bit, and it looked awkward. It looked like a gazelle. It looked like not a gazelle, a giraffe, like an awkward giraffe on skates. I always described Zdeno Chara like that, but the way he stick handled, and then he gets tripped. I don't say he gets tripped up, he gets upended, and he's falling forward like he's diving, and he shoots this shot that reminded me of Darius Kasparaitis back in the day back in the day for the Pittsburgh Penguins when he shot a goal that advanced the Penguins to I believe it was a 2001 Eastern Conference Final. It just looked really weak, but it wound up scoring through Skinner's legs, the goalie for Edmonton, Skinner, and it wound up just squirting through and to the back behind the red line. It's a goal. It's a goal, and the Devils tied the game. Then 7 seconds later, Jesper Bratt makes history. He not only does he score the goal in 7 seconds, but he also breaks the record for most for the point streak for 11-game point streak to begin the season as a New Jersey Devil. 11 games in a row to start the season. Jesper Bratt breaks that mark, and the Devils wound up winning the game. They wound up holding on. They scored at the 3:38 mark. I believe it was 3:38 left in the game. Graves scored at 3:45 with 3:45 left, and then Jesper Bratt scored his beautiful goal on a great pass. It was a lead-in pass after a face-off, and he went up scoring with 3:38 left in the game. Devils hold on to win that game in Edmonton 4-3. Great comeback win against one of the best teams in the league. Both teams entering the game at 7-3, and one of these teams were bound to lose at some point. We're bound to lose that game, and it was the New Jersey Devils coming up on top. They advanced to 8-3, going into Calgary on Saturday night. They would actually have their first non-regulation win. It was the first time they had a non-regulation game, and they wound up winning a 4-3 game in Calgary. They went up going 3-1 after 2. Flames scored 2 goals and wound up forcing overtime. And in that frame, actually, I forgot to mention in the Edmonton game, Mackenzie Blackwood left the game in the second period with a lower body injury, and Vitek Vanacek wound up finishing the game for the New Jersey Devils. Now, moving on to Saturday, he was in net for the Devils on Saturday. And Fabian Zetterlund, excuse me, 2 goals on this night, including the game winner on the power play in overtime to seal the deal and get the Devils to 6 games in a row. Miles Wood continues his hot scoring streak with 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. Nathan Bastian also had 1 goal, 1 assist. And Jack Hughes got 2 assists, which was on Bastian's goal. And I believe, I want to say he was the secondary assist on the power play goal to win the game. Don't quote me on that. I will double check. I will double check. And according to the box score, oh bother, I lost it. I lost my place. That's okay. That's okay though. So we'll keep going. And he had an assist on the power play on the power play goal. Actually, it was a secondary assist. It was a secondary assist on that power play goal to seal the win. Dougie Hamilton got the primary assist on that goal. So Jack Hughes 2 assists in this game. On it, Bastian's goal in the first period, filthy, absolutely filthy. No look pass on the backboard, on the end board of the Calgary end. And I won't be able to play the video because copyright issues and whatnot. I don't want to have a copyright claim on Godzilla Media's channel. But go look it up. Look it up on the New Jersey Devils main Twitter page, or look it up on YouTube for the game highlights. Absolute filth. Absolute filth. It didn't even be pixelated. It was that much. It was that fun of a pass that it was just, it was a great pass. So Jack Hughes 2 assists on that Bastian goal, and then when the first was at that Bastian goal, he had the secondary assist on the game-winning goal by Zetterlund, and the Devils go home with a 3-game sweep. Let me play that graphic one more time. I'm gonna play that video one more time. This is a beautiful thing. Devils sweep, the 3-game sweep in Western Canada. My goodness, I gotta play that video again. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful graphic. It's a great thing. Yeah, I'm a happy guy. Listen, it's Sunday night. I'm recording this on Sunday night. Devils are on a 3-game winning streak. My New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills today. My Montreal Alouettes, I'm a CFL fan as well. They advanced to the East Division final. And I'm a happy dude right now. Life is good as a sports fan, as far as I'm concerned. New York Yankees notwithstanding, but that's another podcast. We'll talk about that more on my other podcast, No Credentials Required. We'll have Victory Monday on Monday, and we'll have the regular podcast on Tuesday. Watch live Monday at 9, and the regular podcast with my co-host Dustin at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. But let's talk about the importance of stacking those wins early. We talk about it in football. I mean, if you're a football fan like me, I hear Coach Robert Saleh, New York Jets, talk about stacking up wins. We're gonna stack the positives. We're gonna stack good practice, good film session, good recovery. We're gonna stack things up. We're gonna stack the positive things up. And for the New York Jets, they've won 6 out of the last 7. Actually 6 out of the last 8, I should say. But for the New Jersey Devils, especially this early in the season, it's a good thing that they're stacking up these wins, because every win counts in the NHL, especially early in the season. I don't care. You say, oh, it's October. It's November. No, it's November. My gosh, November. These wins shouldn't matter in November. It doesn't matter. It's an 82 game season. You know, you're 69 games away. Nice. From, I would say 70 games away from determining where you're going to stand in the playoffs, or if you're going to be a lottery participant. No, it's very important to stack wins early, especially this early in the season, because you want to build confidence. This team's building confidence. If you haven't watched this team, if you're a casual hockey fan, for many, many years, you associate the New Jersey Devils with boring hockey. This team's not boring. This team is not boring. This team is fast. This team can pass. They shoot the puck. They know how to get goals. They can score goals by the bunches. which you can't say for those teams in the 90s and 2000s. I mean, they could score, but they could score. I mean, they go up 2-0 and they just completely shut things down on the other team. And it looked boring, but it wasn't. It was great strategy. It was great coaching. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna feel guilty about the New Jersey Devils winning the Stanley Cup 3 different times with 3 different coaches having the same type of system. But anyway, back to today, back to modern day hockey fan. This team is fun. This team is fun. And they're fun to watch. And the guy said it last night. I think it was Faberlin Zetterlund who said it on Saturday night after the game. He said, "We're having fun right now." And the more you win, the more you have fun. And over the last couple of seasons, the Devils have had a really difficult time stacking wins, stacking winning streaks, stacking winning streaks of more than 4 games, more than 3 games, honestly, up until the 2020s, up until this past week, where they have won their 4th win in a row, and their 4th win in a row when they beat Vancouver. They hadn't had a winning streak go past 3 games since the 2019-2020 season. That was Jack Hughes's rookie season. Now they're on a 6-game tear. And as I mentioned before, the last time the New Jersey Devils had a 6-game winning streak during the season was 2011-2012. That's when they had a 6 wins in a row leading up to the start of the playoffs. And here's the most important thing about stacking these wins early is road wins. And they're on a 5-game, this many, a 5-game road winning streak since they lost in Philadelphia on opening night. And to have that many wins on the road, especially in a row, and this 3-game sweep of teams in Western Canada, Vancouver, who is, and Edmonton and Calgary. The 2 latter teams are Stanley Cup contenders. I have Calgary as my winner coming out of the West this season. Those 2 teams, you beat those 2 teams who are that good, especially when you do it on the road, you're gonna build confidence. You're gonna build confidence, and you can say, "Hey, we can beat these teams on a regular basis on the road." Oh, that could lead to a lot of success down the road, especially later in the season when games get tough. You're on those long stretches. I know the Devils have a long stretch to the Central States in, I believe, mid-March. And you want to win those games early. You want to stack those wins, get that confidence, know that you can play on the road, know that you can beat these type of teams on the road. So, for example, they have a 4-game Western road swing in mid-January. They're at Anaheim, at LA, at San Jose, and finally at Seattle before they go back home. So you want to see the Devils establish their confidence. They're winning games they should be beating teams that they should be beating. And they're also beating the teams that you don't think they'll beat because they're, I wouldn't say miles ahead of them in terms of talent, but also good coaching. And for what it's worth, I said in the episode 1 of the podcast that I think if the Devils didn't play well, especially around this point during the season, I thought Lindy Ruff would be fired. But I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. He's having him play confident. They're confident. They're playing well. They're peppering the goal. They're peppering the opposing goaltender with shots. So, and they're scoring. They scored 13 goals on this road trip. They scored 13 goals on this road trip, so they're averaging a little over 4 goals a game. So get those wins early. Get those wins against teams that you should beat. Get those wins against teams that others may not think you should get wins against, and that confidence starts to build, and it'll snowball. It'll create a snowball effect. And I see good things ahead for this New Jersey Devils team. Now, that there might be points in the season where they'll struggle a little bit, and that's okay. And that's okay because those things you learn more from losses, and the Devils have been doing lots of losing over the past couple seasons. I mean, they've been in the playoffs one time since the 2012 season. Since they went to the Stanley Cup in 2012, they've only been in the playoffs once, and they're doing a lot of losing. They have a young squad who did a lot of losing last year. Went up big early, lost games late, and they're learning those lessons. And I think it's coming around. It's coming around, folks. So it's great to see them stack wins this early. I know it's very early. Devils fans are really confident right now. We're damn near obnoxious about our winning ways for our team, but it's been so long. So I'm on cloud nine. I don't know about the rest of the Devils fans, but I'm on cloud nine right now. All right, so let's address these injuries. Andre Palat. Earlier this week, the New Jersey Devils announced that Andre Palat would be out for an extended period of time, unfortunately, due to he had successful groin surgery. He's expected to make a full recovery. Details regarding his return to play guideline will be provided. A timeline will be provided as soon as it becomes available. That was the tweet sent out last Tuesday. Unfortunately, Andre Palat will be out for an undetermined amount of time. And that's sad. I mean, the Devils signed him, expecting him to be a veteran presence, especially for the forwards, and he did his job up until he was injured. It's unfortunate that he's going to be out for an extended period of time, but I think when he comes back, whether it be in January, February, or March, I'm hoping he comes back by March. I'll be right around the corner for the playoff stretch, for the playoff run. Hopefully, that by the time that March comes around, the Devils are in contention for one of those 4 spots, one of those 3 divisional spots, particularly, or one of the wild card spots. So hopefully, Andre Palat he gets better soon. He's heals up for surgery. And then, as mentioned before, against Edmonton, Mackenzie Blackwood, he was injured on a really it looked like to be a groin injury. I don't want to speculate. He's listed as out right now due to a lower body injury. I'm not going to speculate what it was. It looks like a groin injury. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a sports doctor, so I can't really say. I don't want to speculate what it is, but I'm hoping that he'll be back in the lineup sooner or later. Last week I mentioned that Andres Johnson, who was starting the year in Utica, he got called up. I don't think he appeared in any of the Western Canada trip games. The Devils also brought up Akira Schmid from Utica to fill in for Blackwood. So hopefully this is not a bad span of injuries like we saw last year, and we saw 7 different men play in between the pipes for the New Jersey Devils. So hope again. You never know. Vitek Vanacek's been playing well. He played very well against Edmonton, played very well against Calgary, and he's the number 1 guy right now. So Devils got to play some defense in front of him, limit shots. Vanacek's got to do what he's got to do and stop the puck. So those are your primary injuries for the moment. And we're going to do Down the Farm after this word from Mohawk Honda, one of our partners at Godzilla Media. And hey, as of this recording, it's 66 degrees in my neck of the woods in Saratoga County. But also it's fall. It's also fall. And that means crisp morning air, pumpkin muffins, also pumpkin spice lattes, beautiful foliage. And again, it's fall. And the season may change, but the one constant is buying experience at Mohawk Honda, where you are greeted with a smile and treated with respect. The new vehicle inventory is ramping up too, with pilots, passports, and Ridgelines. Remember, this is the best time to sell your vehicle. They buy cars. And in some cases, you might be able to sell it for more than you paid for it. It's just another advantage you get from the number 1 volume dealer in the capital region. General Manager Greg Johnson and his team of sales consultants are always available to help you in the buying process. And they have big news. Scott Moynihan is back at Mohawk Honda. He brings his 30 plus years of automotive experience with him. Stop in and welcome Scott home. You could also see my guy, Evans Whalen. He got me into I would say, New Jersey Devils red 2016 Honda HRV. Yes, the season's changed, but at Mohawk Honda on Freeman's Bridge Road in Scotia, or online at mohawkhonda.com, they always go out of their way to please you. So let's take a trip down on the farm. That's right, folks. We're going to go down the farm. We're talking about the Utica Comets, and the Adirondack Thunder. And this week for the Utica Comets, they had 3 games. It was a mixed bag this week. They had a shootout loss to Providence at home on Wednesday. So they earned their first overtime point, extra period point, non-regulation point. So it's 1 point in the standings for them against Providence. They had a home split with Rochester. They're one of their bitter rivals. They had a loss away in Rochester, and they had a home win on Saturday night. So it's a home and home split. They're currently 5th place in the AHL North Division with a 3-4-0-1 record. This week, only 2 games. At home on Friday at the Adirondack Bank Center, where they play the Laval Rocket. And on Saturday, they're at Syracuse playing the Syracuse Crunch. And that game will be on Saturday night. So right now, the Utica Comets they've only played 8 games, but they're off to a mixed start. I would say, long season AHL, just like the NHL, long season, long way to go for these guys. And you might see some call-ups. So you had, like I said before, you had Andreas Johnson, and you had Akira Schmid. I'm gonna get rid of this graphic again. Akira Schmid. Both were called up. Both were called from Utica due to injury this past week. So you'll see other guys come up and down throughout the season. But right now, Utica 3-4-0-1. Let's go to Glens Falls and talk about the Adirondack Thunder. They had a 2-game roadie in Trois-Rivières, Quebec, where they played the Lions on Friday night, and they actually earned their first point of the season on Friday night with a 4-3 loss against the Lions. But then the Thunder earned their first outright win of the season on Saturday night, where they scorched the Lions 6-1, and that means they currently sit in 6th place in the ECHL North Division with a 1-4-1 record. They've only played 6 games, which is the least amount of games in the division this season, but they've only played 6 games, so they're starting to get the win. Hopefully this win, and there goes Tagalong. On the visual side, that's my cat Tagalong. He's just jumped in front of my screen. So again, Adirondack Thunder are 1-4-1 to start the season. This week they have another 2-game home series against the Worcester Railers. We've seen them enough. They've seen them enough this year. They're going to see him again on Friday night and Saturday night at the Cool Insuring Arena at Glens Falls Civic Center. And Saturday night, it's Military Appreciation Night. So thank you to all our veterans out there who have served. I know several veterans are my family, so I appreciate all that they've done to help defend this country. So that's on the farm, down the farm. Talking about the farm system for the New Jersey Devils with the Utica Comets and the Adirondack Thunder. Now let's talk about Peter McNabb in memoriam. Peter McNabb, who passed away on Sunday at the age of 70. You might think, who's Peter McNabb? Well, I'll give you a clue as to who he is. Peter McNabb was born in Vancouver, BC, moved with his family to California at the age of 14 when his dad, Max, who won a Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings in 1950. He became the coach of the San Diego Gulls, Gulls, of the Old Western Hockey League. San Diego Gulls are now an affiliate of the Anaheim Ducks of the AHL. Regardless, so we're moving on. Peter McNabb was drafted by the Buffalo Sabres in 1972 while attending Denver University. Played center. He played center for Buffalo, Boston, Vancouver, and New Jersey for the better part of 15 seasons. He played his final 2 seasons of his career in New Jersey, 1985 and 1986. I'm sorry, the 1986 and 1987 season. He played the final 2 seasons of his career, while his dad, Max, was the general manager of the New Jersey Devils. He also played in the 1977 NHL All-Star Game. It was his only NHL All-Star Game appearance. The good majority of his career, the most success he had in his career was with the Boston Bruins. But after the 1986-1987 seasons, he became the color commentator for the New Jersey Devils, broadcast on Sports Channel. You may remember him if you're a New Jersey Devils fan going all the way back. And in those days, he was in the booth with Gary Thorne and with Doc Emmerich. He spent 8 seasons in the booth. His last season in the booth was in 1995 when the New Jersey Devils won the Stanley Cup. And after the 95 season, McNabb became a color commentator on Altitude Sports for Colorado, the Colorado Avalanche, and he had been there ever since. Unfortunately, until his death on this Sunday. He was inducted to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame in 2021 as a member of the United States Hockey Hall of Fame. He played one international game. Played one international series in 1986 for the United States of America during the World Championship in Moscow. So unfortunately, our condolences on this program go out to the McNabb family, as Peter McNabb unfortunately succumbed to cancer at the age of 70, a huge loss in the hockey community. And again, our condolences, our thoughts, and especially our prayers go out to the McNabb family, especially after the passing of Peter. I hate to end it on a sad note, but I'm going to have to do that. But we're going to move on to next week. So thanks for joining me on this week's episode of Have Another Donut, a New Jersey Devils podcast. I'm starting to follow a lot of ex-New Jersey Devils accounts on the Twitter for the Devils Donut Pod. Twitter again, our Twitter account is Devils Donut Pod. So I'm gonna try to reach out to some former players, whether they played in New Jersey or any of the systems, any of the minor league systems for the Devils. They played in Albany, Utica, Lowell, Binghamton, Albany, all those former affiliates, and they played sometime in the NHL with the Devils. I'll have to try to get them on the pod, but you can find us on Twitter at Devils Donut Pod. Subscribe to the podcast. Anchor is our home base, but you could also subscribe and listen on Spotify and Google Play. And while you're at it, subscribe to Godzilla Media on YouTube. Give this podcast a like and read a comment. You can also leave questions, whether it be on the pod or on the Twitter account or on the YouTube channel. Also, if you're a local donut shop, you want to sponsor this, you want to sponsor a podcast, and I'll do a review of your donuts, leave a comment on the YouTube side or reach out on Devil's Donut Pod. Our DMs are open. And with that, I'll leave you with episode 3. I'll conclude episode 3 of Have Another Donut, a New Jersey Devils podcast presented by Godzilla Media. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I have been your humble host, and we'll talk to you again next week. Until then, let's go Devils.
Because you fell, you fat pig! I'm not having another donut!